The Saw franchise is one of the most iconic, inconsistent, and hilarious horror franchises of all time. From the year 2004 through 2010, there was one Saw movie every year. Then in 2017, I believe, we got Jigsaw, and I watched all of them. So I'm gonna talk about all of them. So in 2004, James Wan and Lee Winnell teamed up to make Saw. They had no plans for it to turn into a franchise. In fact, the entire first movie was crafted around the fact that they had no budget.
The fact that they had no money. We can't have them leave the room, so we'll have to chain them somehow to the wall. And then they ask themselves the question, well, why are they chained there?
Over 50% of the movie was just two guys in one room, and it completely works. This is actually a very good movie, and as a standalone film, I think it's worthy of its iconic status. They weren't going for torture porn yet. This was just a straightforward psychological thriller. Everything gory happened off screen. It was the implications that horrified so many people. And not to mention the twist ending is one of my favorites of all time. I tend to treat this franchise the same way I do the Final Destination movies, meaning I judge them based on how hilariously gruesome and fun they are. Unlike any Final Destination movie, I find Saw 1 to be a legitimately good film on an unironic level. It's definitely flawed and filled with stupid mistakes. Like the opening of the film, the main character wakes up underwater. Kind of fucking stupid. Most of my flaws with this movie are actually with the acting and their line delivery.
You son of a bitch!
Larry.
Hallie?
But overall, I think for such a small budget, it's really impressive what this movie was able to accomplish. I almost gave this movie a 7 out of 10 because I was looking back on my last ratings. Like I gave it a 7 and I gave Palm Springs a 6, but I kind of regret both of those ratings, meaning I kind of want to move it down to a 6 and Palm Springs down to a 5. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to give Saw 1 a 6 out of 10. So 12 months later, Saw 2 came out and it's not quite as good. It's not quite hilariously terrible yet either, it's just kind of meh. And boy, are the studios ever so lucky they casted Tobin Bell as Jigsaw in the first movie, because this is where it becomes evident that he's gonna carry the entire franchise. They focus a lot more on the gory elements in this one, and it's where the franchise kind of started that torture porn trend.
Not really into, gizzards spilling out of, somebody's stomach or heads being cut off. That stuff's
Despite
kinda
the
fun.
sequels of Saw.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it entirely did away with the psychological elements. I enjoyed the twist at the end. Not the Amanda twist, but the twist that reveals everything that Donnie Wahlberg's been watching already happen and isn't happening live. It fooled me. But that doesn't make up for the bland dialogue and generic story. They're stuck in a fucking wooden house. How hard can it be to escape? And man, they were really banking on this kid being the one survivor in order for this to even work. I guess Jigsaw really can control everything. I don't know what else to say about this one. Fucking 5 out of 10. Saw 3 is where Jigsaw dies, and I thought that they were gonna end things here. Nope. So a stupid fucking dumb-ass argument that I hear a lot is that Jigsaw doesn't actually kill people. He's just testing them.
I think it is like the dichotomy of good versus evil. He does these evil things, but yet his heart is really good.
If you truly believe that Jigsaw is not a murderer and is really doing this to help people, then you need to have your brain examined immediately. The main character of this movie is put into a trap because he was grieving too hard over his 5-year-old son's death. Are you fucking kidding me? Real nice moral code you got there, Jigsaw. I'm not sure if you know this, but if you put 2 people in one trap and only one of them can come out alive, even if you don't know which one it will be, it's still murder, in every sense of the word. There are a few good traps in this one, I guess, but nothing too exciting. My favorite one being the meat locker scene.
A girl is strung up in a meat locker.
Yeah.
It's a cold meat locker.
Yeah.
Randomly, at random intervals, ice cold water is being sprayed on her until she freezes to death into a block of ice. Which film?
6.
3.
But they kill off fucking everybody in this one, including Jigsaw, and there's like nobody left to carry the series, but they continue anyway because it's still making lots of money. This movie bored me to tears, and it was the birth of the continuity fuckfest that is the Saw franchise. and I'm gonna give it a Saw 3 out of 10. So the next 3 movies all admittedly kind of blend together in my brain, and Saw 4 might be the most boring out of all of them, I don't know. I had no idea where they'd take the series now that Tobin Bell's character is dead, and it's evident that even the writers were like, we fucked up. Cause shit, is there a lot of flashbacks in this movie that star Tobin Bell? He's also in the opening scene where they remove all his organs and they find a tape in his stomach. How the fuck did he swallow that? We get to see Jigsaw's balls in this scene, so that's good. Then we transition to our real opening scene, and it's 2 guys chained to each other, one with his eyes sewn shut and one with his mouth sewn shut. As much as I hate this movie, I gotta say this scene is pretty cool. Even though the guy with his eyes sewn shut immediately assumes that the muffled screams he hears is his attacker. So we follow boring side cops from previous films, because they've run out of people that we give a shit about at this point. They could at least entertain me with some cool traps, and I mean, the ponytail ripping off the girl's scalp may be the only one in the series that made me really cringe. Not in a bad way, like it's fucking gross and it looks painful. Watch this transition though. What the hell was that? We're in the middle of this intense scene. Why would we give a fuck about fingerprints? Here we go again with the transitions. Fuck me, what is this movie? So the last test involves Donnie Wahlberg from Saw 2 having his head crushed by ice if this door opens, or this Detective Hoffman being electrocuted by the water when the ice melts.
2 people are placed on a fiendishly clever giant set of scales. One might be electrocuted by melting ice, the other one might have a massive cube of ice dropped on his head to kill him. Which film? Big Block of Ice.
5.
Close, it was 4.
4.
It was
4.
So of course the main guy opens the door and Donnie Don dies, so the main character failed the test. Which, the test is battling his obsession with opening doors? I think? I kind of failed to see the morality lesson in this one too, to be honest with you.
His heart is really good.
So like in Saw 2, this one has 2 twists. Not only is Hoffman revealed to be the new bad guy, but this was all actually happening at the same time as Saw 3. So Jigsaw was alive during all of this, but he was too busy being over-dramatic about a headache to be in the movie. But at least we'll have another one to look forward to. 3 out of 10, let's move on. Saw 5 opens with a man being cut in half by an axe if he fails to crush his fingers. He actually succeeds, but the trap kills him anyway. And there was someone watching. Don't worry, it'll all make sense later. Turns out this happened before Jigsaw died. It was actually Hoffman, and through another series of elongated flashbacks, we learned that he was also used to build trap, and he's actually been there the whole time. It's literally implied that in Saw 3, all they had to do was turn the camera a little to the left and it would reveal that Hoffman is standing right there. So we see some detectives dick around and we get the tracheotomy scene.
A box is filled with water, locked on a man's head. It's filling with water. In order to stop himself drowning, he has to give himself a tracheotomy with a pen. Which film?
Dude, you're asking. Is the point of this is to show that I have no clue about the whole series?
It's after all that we get the meat of the story. It's similar to Saw 2 because it mainly focuses on a group of 5 people in another one of Jigsaw's trap houses. 5 people because it's Saw 5. And in each room they're faced with something that will kill one of them. This movie aggravates the hell out of me because in each one of these scenes I can think of very obvious ways all of the characters could survive. Like this one, they all have to go into a tunnel to avoid being exploded. And oh no, there isn't enough tunnels for everybody. But was it not painfully obvious that more than one person could fit into one of these tunnels? They didn't even try or mention it or seem to notice it at all. And what makes me hate this movie even more is that is the big reveal at the end of this movie. The big plot twist is that they could have all made it to the last trap had they cooperated and used their brains. What pisses me off is that this movie treats that as the plot twist to us as the audience. That's not a plot twist, it's fucking common sense. So now it's up to these two to fill up these pints with their blood by slicing through their hands. Gonna be kinda hard to jack off now, poor guy. This one's dumb and not one of the better Saw films at all, and this one also gets a 3 out of 10. Saw 6 is kinda entertaining on a so bad it's good level. It's taken 6 fucking movies to get here, but yay, we finally did it! This opens up with a lady chained to a fat guy, and Jigsaw forces them to cut off their body parts, and whoever cuts off the most weight in 60 seconds gets to live while the other one dies. And this scene is easily one of my favorite opening traps. It's really dumb, but I love it. Why don't you take off your clothes and put them in there? I'd do that. Or hell, I'd pee in it. Take a shit in it. They're probably nervous enough to vomit in it if they wanted to. I would be. So the movie continues on, and now we get a lot more scenes of this lovely actress. Now it's revealed that Jigsaw's wife was also in on everything and has been helping since the beginning. Even though I'm pretty sure she was under some heavy investigation in the past movies. You can correct me if I'm wrong, I really don't feel like going back to check. But her acting is really sublime. Just watch.
Miss Jenkins, please, this will only take a second. We can help each other.
What makes you think you can just come to my door like this?
Because I found something you want to see.
Where'd you get this?
It was at the location where John died. Does it mean anything to you?
No. Goodbye, Miss Jenkins.
Riveting. So the way we're able to hear Jigsaw's voice in these new traps is through a voice changer that Hoffman uses. The police actually start to figure this out, and Hoffman kind of goes on a stabby rampage to avoid being caught. But listen to what part of the recording they're at whenever he makes the decision to kill everyone.
There it is.
Right now, you're feeling helpless.
Right now, you're feeling helpless. Yes, that was part of the recording from earlier in the movie, but it seems as if they included it here to symbolize how Hoffman feels in that moment.
There it is.
Right now, you're feeling helpless.
This is legitimately great writing. In the middle of Saw 6? Didn't expect that, but good on you, Saw 6. I feel like Saw 6 deserves a 5 out of 10. Finally, we've reached 7. Not only is it the last movie that's ended up not being the last movie, but it's in 3D. This movie is fucking awesome. Much like the 3D Final Destination movie that was the last movie but ended up not being the last movie, this one doesn't take anything seriously at all. The opening trap was amazing, and it is my favorite. First off, it's in public. How the fuck did they get there? Nobody noticed this until now? How did they put it together? Where did they get this impenetrable glass? Obviously it can't be broken because look how hard she hits it. No, but for real, nobody else is gonna try to break the glass. So basically 2 guys are forced to push a saw towards one another, or the girl that's been sleeping with both of them will be chopped in half by it. The outcome of this scene is hilarious and incredibly satisfying.
Not worth it, man. It's not worth it. Yeah!
What are you doing, you fucking asshole?
I think we're breaking up with you, Tina.
So we follow this amazing actress some more in this movie. This is another one of those actresses that just tries to look pretty and act all at the same time. Kinda like Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman, where the whole thing is like a shampoo commercial, you know, but worse. She's to the point where I think she'd literally just be better off doing porn. Look at the way she's running. You can really feel the danger she's in at this point in time. Oh no, I sure hope the big bad man doesn't find me. When we aren't following her around, we get awesome scenes like this. Oh no, it was just a dream. We do get to see her die in a successful version of the trap from Saw 1. And it's revealed that Dr. Gordon from Saw 1 was also helping the whole time.
They say the best to last. Is this the last?
This is the last.
Is it the best?
It is the best. There's no question. I saw the film 2 days ago, and it's by far the best one. There's no question about it. I mean, I've seen them all now, and
You fucking lying little bitch. You don't know shit about this franchise. which that does explain all the surgeries Jigsaw was able to do, but it just leaves me with tons of unanswered questions about Saw 1. Kinda makes the first movie worse, but as far as the absurd fucked up timeline of this universe, I think it's a perfect way to end it. This is one of the best Saw movies to me because of the meta tone and over-exaggerated gore scenes. It's getting a really strong 5 out of 10. Closer to a 6 than a 4, what can I say? As far as Jigsaw, I'm gonna review it separately. It would make this video too long, but to give you an idea of how I feel about it, I'll rank it with the other 7. Going from worst to best, it would go Saw 5, 3, 4, Jigsaw, 2, 6, 7, and obviously Saw 1 is the best. I figured I'd finish off my horror marathon with a bang, so here you are. I can't promise that I'll review Jigsaw by Halloween, but I definitely will eventually. So happy Halloween, everybody!